Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Voices for Change 2.0, the only podcast that focuses on mental health while mixing in movies, music, books, sports, and pop culture. Here are your hosts, Rebecca and Joe Lombardo.
Guys, welcome to Voices for Change 2.0.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in this morning. If we sound funny at all in any way, we've had a few technical difficulties on our end.
Live show.
Live shows are awesome. So we are embarrassed to say we are actually calling into the show on a cell phone.
Yeah, so if the sound is a little wonky, we apologize in advance, but we've been told we sound okay, so we're just going to go with it.
Yeah, we're hoping we're not being lied to in any way. So we're going with it. So thanks for sticking by the last couple of weeks. We've been off. It's been a rough couple of weeks. For those of you that have been listening to the show for a long time,
or just know us on Twitter.
Yeah, we had kind of a massive death in our family. We lost our beloved cat Haley that we've had for 18 years, and it's made things really difficult for us. It's been a really tough adjustment. So, some of you have reached out to us and gave condolences and, good thoughts and well wishes and prayers. And for that, we are eternally grateful to you. You know how much we loved our cat. She would sometimes pop in on the show and you could hear her in the background, and
you guys loved her too. She always got whenever I posted pictures or whatever, she always got the best comments from you guys. And I know I can't list everybody, but there's a few specific people on Twitter and on Facebook and even Instagram that just loved her so much and are really bummed out for us. And I'm not going to say too much because it's extremely, extremely emotional for me. I'm already getting all verklempt. So yeah. I'm not going to say too much more, but just know that we needed to take some time away to kind of focus on ourselves for a bit. Yeah.
And also, last Saturday, we celebrated 18 years together as a married couple.
Yep.
And, in spite of all the troubles that we've had lately with Haley and whatnot, we still managed to make it a somewhat decent anniversary. Wasn't everything that we had originally planned, but, such is life.
Yeah.
But the most important thing is we had each other, and I was off all week, and I got to spend a lot of time with Beck.
Which is a good thing, because I don't know how I would have gone through all of that without you being home. So.
Yeah. So
thank you to Cintas Corporation for giving you a week off.
Yes. Yes, a much needed week off. So that said, one more thing that I'll let the folks know is we decided for the betterment of ourselves to get a gym membership. So we're going to the gym for the first time today, and we're very excited about it. And hopefully we can make some strides to getting healthier and moving around better and all sorts of things like that. So, wish us luck.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And, we've done a lot of discussions with people about the importance of physical health on your mental health.
Mm-hmm.
And I know for a fact that my physical health has been just in the gutter for a couple of years now. And I'm sure that that's contributing to some of the struggles that I'm going through on a regular basis. So I'm looking forward to it. I don't expect that the first couple of times I'm going to be able to do a whole heck of a lot, but I think it's going to be good for both of us. And, you do it together, it's a little bit easier. So,
yeah, a little bit of something is way better than a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the take that we're doing on it. So that said, let's get to
Yes.
the matters at hand.
Let's get to our
Shall we?
our guest today.
Yeah.
You want to read your lovely written? You have it right here.
I do have it
I
right
let
here.
Jo write the questions last night.
She did. I took.
Ordinarily, that's kind of a my thing.
Yep.
So if there's any terrible questions, you can direct the complaints his way.
That's right. It's all my fault. So, our guest comes to us from all the way across the pond in England. She's a blogger, a survivor, an advocate, and has a great cafe concept that we're looking forward to discussing with her. So please welcome to the show, Ms. Emma Levinson.
Hi, guys. Hi,
Hello.
Hey,
Hi there.
Good job on the gym. I'm with you on that. I've spent the morning in the gym, so
Oh, right on.
it's definitely good for the old mental health and everything. Big for me.
That's good.
So, yeah, once you get in the swing of it.
Well, that's what we're hoping, is to get into the swing of it, and
Absolutely.
so we're looking forward to it for sure.
Do you guys have Planet Fitness there?
No, we don't. No, I've not heard of that one.
Yeah, it's like it's funny because they block off all their windows so that people can't go by and like watch you work out. And it's like it's called a judgment-free zone, and nobody's supposed to pick on you while you're working out or anything.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why we pick them.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, judgment is what puts so many people off, I think, going to the gym. So that's a great concept. Yeah.
If you get a chance, look up some of their commercials on YouTube, because they are actually rather entertaining. There's one of a guy, this big muscle-bound guy, and he's talking to the gym people, and they're like, "So what do you do?" He's like, "I pick things up and put them down." And that's all the guy says. It's hilarious.
And they let him out the back door and lock him out.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So,
I'll check them out.
Yeah. So it's good stuff.
Yeah. No, good on you.
All right. Well, if you don't have any questions for us, we're just going to jump right into what we've got.
Yeah, let's go. All good.
Great.
Okay. The first question that we ask virtually every guest is, where does your mental health journey begin?
So mine started in 2014, so it's 5 years ago now. So I've been working in fashion for 10 years or so and loved my job. It was all going great. But then I got a new boss who kind of turned things totally on its head, so to speak, and caused my life a misery. And from there, I stuck out at it for about 6 months, and I knew things weren't right, but I didn't realize quite how not right things were going for me. And I gave in after about 6 months and gave in my notice. And with that, I totally cracked. In the meeting with the HR, it was sort of a gibbering, crying, real mess, because I just suddenly realized, even though I'd been a lot of crying and a lot of just horrible feelings going around during that 6 months, it all came to the surface. And so I handed in my notice, and I thought from then on, I'm leaving the company. The company I loved. The issue was just with my boss. I still love the company. I thought, things will be fine now. It's all going to get better. The only way is up. But then I had about a month of job hunting with nothing, not finding anything. And slowly, bit by bit, without even realizing it, I wasn't getting out of bed. I wasn't getting dressed. I wasn't leaving the house. And then I would only be getting dressed when my flatmate came in. I'd been living with my best friend. And then I had the massive panic attack. And so ambulance called, and no one really knows. Well, my friend didn't know what quite to do. My parents ended up coming to collect me, and I went back to live with them. So age 30, I didn't imagine moving back in with my parents, but that's what happened. So there was a lot of toing and froing from the doctors, starting with therapists. And my psychiatrist he wanted me to go into hospital and be admitted, but I refused. I said, it doesn't happen to, and I putting in inverted commas, people like me, that old saying. And then, so I refused, and then I bumped into a very, very old family friend who told me that someone they knew had been admitted into hospital. And with that, it clicked in my head that it can happen to anyone, and it was nothing that I should be ashamed of or embarrassed about, and that it was a normal thing, you know. So with that, I went back to my psychiatrist and was admitted into hospital. So that was I think in the January. I can't remember time frames of things, but for the next year and a half, 2 years, I was in and out of hospital. Basically, I had 3 inpatients and a lot of outpatients. So it was So that was 3. It all came to a head about 3 years ago. Like really, really escalated to its peak. And then since then, I've been learning how to manage it and dealing with it and concentrating on like mental health advocacy and getting people to talk up, because I think if I'd known if it was okay to talk and that what was going on with me, things would have been a whole lot different.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, because I didn't recognize any of the signs or what was going on or anything. So
you're just a baby, a wee baby in the mental health fight here.
Well, it was 5 years ago, so I'm 35. But yeah, not the ideal 35. I'm still with my mum and dad, so still they're still looking after me. They're amazing.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, no, I'm amazed, lucky to have the amazing support that they are. So
that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel bad about what you went through, because you had your dream job going, and it's funny how one person with a bad attitude can just mess up your whole life.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And it sucks because it sounds kind of like a real life Devil Wears Prada kind of situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just the funny thing is, it was just my boss that was causing my misery. The company was incredible, and I still love the company, but I actually found out a few months ago that someone else I was working with had also been going through something similar. So it was, but no one could talk about anything, how they were really feeling, because it's the fashion world,
Yeah.
But it was incredible to discover that someone else had been going through something, and we'd both been putting on that happy exterior, that you expected to. So, yeah.
Well, there's a lot of pressure that comes from a job in the fashion industry, I would think. I personally am not, a fashionista. I wear what I want to wear because it's comfortable.
Yeah, that's me nowadays, absolutely.
Yeah. I know that if you're in that field, there's kind of an expectation, maybe not said out loud, but kind of thought of, that, you need to look a certain way and act a certain way. And I can imagine that there must have been a lot of pressure.
Yeah, there was a bit. I mean, not as much as I think people. I mean, I know in some companies it's heavy on that, but where I was working, it wasn't so much stress on that. But, well, at least I'm such a laid-back person. I never really play up to those pressures or anything. I just, But, yeah, no, there is always that pressure. But
yeah, no, that's definitely good. That would be my first, my first concern if I tried to get into a job in that field would be I dress like I live in a paper sack.
My fashion choice is frumpy, and I'm good with that.
Yeah, I'm all about comfort now. That's long gone now. Yeah, but it was funny because it was my dream job at the time, but it wasn't. I realise now, looking back, how one-dimensional it is and how much it actually didn't matter, and how much happier I am now doing things that matter. I say when I graduated from college, my tutor said to me, because it was a handbag designer. He said to me, the parting words were, "There's more to life than a handbag." To which we all laughed, but now it's like, really, like I'm looking back and it's like, there's so much more to life than a handbag. It's like people go through all the struggles in life, and there we are worrying about what a handbag looks like. And so now I love what I do, and making a real difference to people,
Yeah,
helping
absolutely.
people,
That's good.
Yeah.
When you were struggling, did you have the support of family and friends?
My family have absolutely phenomenal. My mum's suffered with depression as well, so it's sort of known in the family, but they have been like my absolute rocks. And I've got incredible friends. It's been very testing for some people, but I've got a really solid group of friends who, everyone's dealt with it in different ways, and I think people don't really know how to deal with it when you're seeing a loved one going through everything that I've been going through, and hospital and things. So, it's scary for people to see, and some people, but I've got real rocks around me and friendships which have transformed in like the best way. And and my old friend Sophie, who I started the cafe, which I'll speak more to you about later, we'd lost contact for 10 years, and we've become the best of friends now, supporting each other, because we bumped back into each other after total 10 years, and it was a total fluke. She was at the Chinese restaurant around the corner from my house, and she lives the other side of London. And we'd not seen each other, and we were chatting. We both realised that both of us were going through such severe breakdowns, but around very different triggers. And so she's back in my life after all that time, and we've supported each other and got each other through it. Getting each other still through it, the ups and downs and everything that is coping with it and living with all the mental illnesses that we have, and
Hey, Emma, when I was doing my research for the show today, and you mentioned yourself that you were living with your best friend in your flat, and working your dream job and all that. Do you still associate with that friend? Are you still friends with her, or?
I think friendships change a lot, we're still speak to each other. I think things test friendships, and people. So it's learning, how people. I think relationships in life. People can support each other and are there for, I can't explain it, but yes, we are still. No, go for it.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's hard because, sometimes you go through what you went through, or, what Beck has gone through in the past, and you really find out who your true friends are. And you've got people that will stick with you through the bad stuff, and you've got people that will, walk away. And so the fact that she saw what you were going through, and is still a part of your life. That's
of course.
That's awesome.
I think the good friends are there. I think friendships change, dynamics change, but the people who you're with, I think the people who really know you are there. So and for a lot of friendships have changed, and people I hadn't been very close to. It's actually amazing what something like this can do to friendships and relationships, and like you realise the importance and what you need from people as well. But I know my whole experience, I'm a very different person as well from what I was before. I used to be, a friend says to me, she jokes with me, she was like, you never used to be able to talk with us all over a cup of tea. And she's like, but now you can stand up in front of a room of people and talk about yourself and what you've been through, and like you're your own person now. And I'm a very different person, and strangely it's given me a lot of confidence, like speaking up, because it's something I'm so passionate about now, because if I felt able to speak up, I'm sure it would have happened at some point. I know it would, because I think there's a lot of things I think in the past I hadn't really dealt with, so I'm sure this was bubbling under the surface. But if people are able to talk, yeah, I've totally lost my train of thought, but no. I tend to do that, so just rein me in.
Oh, it's no problem.
We do it too, so don't worry.
Yeah.
But people have had to like get used to the change in me as well as me getting used to me being a different person. I think me being a different person in friendship groups as well has changed things. So,
what made you want to come forward and tell your story?
Well, what happened is so after my final hospital admission, I decided that I needed to, well, not needed to, but I wanted to explain to people where I had been and that I hadn't been being rude and ignoring people. So I did a Facebook post and was totally transparent about what I'd been through and where I'd been for the 2 years. And what people had done to help and, like the little things. And it was quite a long post, but with that, there was response, like people I hadn't spoken to in years were private messaging me, like so many people saying, oh my gosh, I've been through that. And, like, oh my gosh, it's so nice to hear someone else going through it. And all these people you would never have thought would have been, it's that typical, that mask we all wear to hide it. So with that response and people actually saying, oh my gosh, you can write. Now at school I was put down, it's like, you can't write, you're so dyslexic, you're this and that. I was quite, but people could see that I could write. So I started my blog, which is slowed down now. I don't really concentrate on that as much at the moment because I was writing a lot. And I've realised now, because I was kicking myself last year, what's happening? Why aren't I doing the blog? Why I should be writing, putting this pressure on myself. But I've realised that actually the blog was the sort of therapy for me. I was using it to say how I was feeling and to explain things to other people, but it was also explaining it to myself.
Right.
So even though at the time I thought I was writing for other people, a lot of it was for me as well. And I always felt strongly that I would never write anything if it wasn't something that flowed out naturally. I didn't want to be someone that forced anything. And it has naturally slowed down, but my focus has also been now transferred onto the cafe, the CBT cafe. So it's been an organic process, but it was that one Facebook post that got me talking and realizing how so many other people were suffering and going through things but not able to talk. So if I'm able to talk and be that one more person to talk up, then that one more person can inspire someone else. And then hopefully, well, as slowly, more and more people are starting to talk up, but the one more person that does.
I've got kind of a side question. We've spoken to several people from the UK on here, and I've never gotten the opportunity to ask anything about the royals and how you may perceive the young royals coming out and doing whatever they're capable of doing for mental health and making it a conversation there too. Is that something that you find genuine, or do you think it's kind of hokey?
I think whatever people can do to inspire people and make people feel able to talk, the better. Like if they can inspire someone, they're prime examples for people that have been through, they've been through a lot and had to bottle it up and not been able to show it. So I think what they're doing now is incredible. I think on some levels maybe it doesn't represent, the real deeper mental illnesses and things, but to just get people, the younger generations as well, to see them talking out, who they are role models to some people, to see them able to talk, I think it's great. I know there are people that criticize it and, it's not, but I think it's great. I just think the more people that can talk up, I think at the end of the day, it's that line, we've all got mental health.
Right.
And so they're talking about their struggles and what they've been through. So good on them. I think personally, yeah.
Okay, well, thank you for taking the time to answer this. It's been in the back of my mind.
Controversial thing with but my thought is always the more people that can talk, the better. So.
Right. All right, well, we've got to take a quick break. So we are going to catch you guys on the other side. So hang in there. This is Adrian Christian with His Eyes on the Sparrow.
Why do I feel discouraged? Why do the shadows come? And why does my heart feel lonely and long for heaven and home? When Jesus is my portion, a constant friend is He. His eyes on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. His eyes on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. So I sing because I am happy, and I sing because I am free. His eyes on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. So I sing because I am happy, and I sing because I am free. His eyes on the sparrow, and I know He watches, and I know He watches, and I know He watches me.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Voices for Change 2.0. I don't know why my voice suddenly got deeper, but I'm going to go with it. My name's Joe. The lady sitting next to me is Rebecca. She's cute as a button. You guys got to see her. And on the phone with us is Miss Emma Levinson, all the way from the UK.
Hey.
Hey.
From London.
From London.
London.
Do you like Eddie Izzard?
What's that? Sorry, it broke up.
Do you like Eddie Izzard?
Yeah, he's all right. Yeah. I don't love, I don't not love. So yeah.
He's one of our favorite people in the world.
Yeah.
We absolutely adore him.
Yeah. It was funny. Here's a quick little tiny story. When Beck and I were dating,
18 years
ago, I go over to her house one night, and she says, "Oh, I got this comedy show I want to show you. It's this comedian named Eddie Izzard, and the show is Dressed to Kill." And I had already seen it on HBO and thought it was just brilliant. And I was like, "Oh yeah, I know this guy." And
I was so bummed too because I wanted to be the one to like launch it to the world and be like, "It was me. I said it was great."
and right away it was yet one more thing that we had in common. And then we fell in love.
Yeah.
So Eddie Izzard is responsible for our love.
Oh, the rest is history, so they say.
Yeah, him and WWE wrestling.
Oh, we won't go into that.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible. So,
all right, so we're going to jump back into our questions here. We went a little off track.
Yeah,
we lost some time there going down memory lane.
Yeah, not to mention our cat walking in completely soaked. So that's fun. That's fun for us.
We have a second one, and he has decided that he likes to jump into the laundry sink, with the washer greens into it.
Oh.
And he jumps and rolls around and then comes back up here soaking wet.
And lays down on our bed. Yeah, so he's currently soaked and on our bed, and that's fun for us.
Absolutely.
Absolutely fun.
All right, so cat stuff for now. We've inundated everyone with cat stuff. Let's back off on that.
Yes.
All right, so your personal blog is called Balloons and the Brain.
Balloons and the Brain, yeah.
Where does this title come from, and what can our listeners find there when they stop by?
So the name came from when I was in hospital in art therapy. The first time I was in hospital, I couldn't do art therapy. It brought back too much. It was a bit too triggering from me. The second time I was in hospital, for some reason, I got images of balloons just in my head. And from then on, every art therapy session, I would use a balloon, and a balloon is my inspiration because a balloon represents hope. It can be popped. It can be blown up, which is so many things, that refer also to mental health. We crash, we go pop, we look at the balloon as hope, and we're blown back up again, while we're recovering and learning the coping mechanisms, So to me, a balloon was just turned into a big metaphor for everything. So that's where the balloon came from. The balloons and the brain. The name just came into me overnight. I think I go through these periods of having just sudden ideas that I have to just go and I have to do and I don't really think about. So I went to bed with no blog one evening and woke up the next morning with a full blog. It was up and running. It had everything there. So it was really one of those moments where I just went with it. So it happened without really thinking about it. And it's quiet now, the blog, but it's got a lot of, it's got some guest blogs. It's got a lot about my experience and just informative ones, posts as well about what anxiety feels like, what depression feels like. But I don't focus on it so much anymore. I will come back to it. I know I will. But at the moment, as I say, I like to write really when I've got a passion and got a flow to it, and it just it's organic. So I haven't written on it a while, but it's by no means finished. But it's just quiet at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
Yeah. And it was much needed when I was doing it. As I said before, it was my therapy that I needed at that time as well for me. But yeah, no, so now my focus is on the cafe and studying because I'm retraining to be a counsellor as well. So got a lot going on at the moment.
That's great.
Cool.
So, yeah. So, yeah.
And what is the Balloons in the Brain Anxiety Toolkit?
So I created the coping mechanisms I was taught for when I was having a panic attack or anxiety was a lot of to ground you. So it's a kit that uses all your senses. So it's got a stress ball to play with as a distraction. It's got your sour sweets as a taste distraction. You know, it's really using the senses as your distraction out of, you know, when you're having that awful panic attack or anxiety, to ground you. So it was something I was told about in hospital, and I thought, gosh, people could really do with being able to buy something that's fully put together. So yeah, so basically it's got a scent in as well, so people can choose what smell they want and to make it personal to them. So smells are such a personal thing as well. So it's all about using senses to get you through those awful anxiety moments or panic attacks, or when you're on the tube or train or, you know, public transport. I went through a period of not being able to get on the tube. And so then I used that to distract me to be able to get on the tube and to cope in crowds and to things. So, yeah, so that's what the anxiety toolkit is. It's something that people can buy to help distract them, you know, during those attacks. Yeah. Yeah.
Very, very cool.
It's not something I've spoken about in a while, so yeah.
We're very thorough here at Voices
You
for
are
Change.
indeed.
All right, so I'm actually going to skip the next question because I want to jump into the one that we've kind of hinted at for the last half hour, which is, please tell us about Cake Before Therapy.
Yeah, so it's a Cake Before Therapy, the CBT Cafe. It's a cafe I started with my friend who I mentioned earlier, who was my friend from university, who I'd not seen in 10 years, Sophie, and we bumped into each other and found out we were both going through what we were going through. And from that moment on, we met up every week for tea and cake, you know, very British, you know. We went to all the different cake shops across London. But during these meetups and conversations, we were talking about absolutely everything and anything to do with what we were going through, mental health, you know, absolutely everything. You know, there was nothing we couldn't talk about, to the point that sometimes, on a couple of occasions, people on the next table actually were glaring us and sometimes moved tables because some things were very controversial and things that you don't hear people talking about. But the ability for us to be able to do that and have those open conversations, talking about absolutely everything, any thoughts, has been crucial to our recovery and getting to where we are now. So we thought, you know, we need to offer this environment to other people where people can meet each other and not talk in therapy. It's not, you know, just talk to people going through the same things, you know. So Cake Before Therapy is basically a pop-up cafe, and where people come just to share their stories and eat lots of cake, because who doesn't like cake? And it's very safe, stigma-free. Everyone's there for a reason, you know. Everyone's there because they want to talk, or they want to learn, or they're supporting someone and they, you know, need help and advice. So it's just a space where everyone can talk anything mental health, anything that's on their minds. And it's a very special environment. It's very special. So yeah, we're run in London. I just got a grant to run it on my own. So we've been running it in private spaces, but now I'm running it on my own. So it's a really special environment, and one that, you know, people come again and again, and it's sort of built up these lovely little friendships and relationships, which is what we were hoping to do, you know, introduce people to each other so that they've got new friends. Yeah.
That's
and then
very
people
cool.
bring cake as well sometimes, and people love to show off their bakes. So, and then cooking as well is its own sort of form of therapy. So.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I saw some of the pictures on the website from some of your events you got coming up, and it made me want cake.
Yeah.
So thanks for that.
Some good cakes.
But I think it's an absolutely wonderful concept. I think it's, you know, a great thing. You know, nothing quite brings people together like food, and especially desserts.
Yeah, exactly.
being able to, sit in a relaxed environment and, have a piece of cake and have a cup of, for you guys, cup of tea, for us over here, a cup of coffee.
We have coffee too, don't worry.
Well, I know. But, just having that nice kind of low-key environment to talk about what's going on with your life without having it necessarily be, something like going to a therapist can sometimes be intimidating for a person, especially the first time they go, and they might not always unload what they need to, and not, and that's not to say don't go to a therapist by any means. If you need a therapist, go to a therapist, but being able to have, just sit down and have a conversation with the person, either a friend or, sometimes even a perfect stranger, and just being able to do that in a relaxing environment, that can really be beneficial.
Absolutely.
It's low stress, and you can kind of take a load off. You don't have to think about everything, So I love the concept. I really do.
It's been like, people do love it who come, and it's it's pretty special actually.
I know
I say so myself.
I know you mentioned on your website there that you had plans for setting up permanent CBT cafes. How far along are you with that?
Well, that's my long-term dream, is to have a standalone cafe, which can be host events, mental health events, and the cafe, this cafe as well, but then also like have therapy rooms and things. But it's a while off, but that is my absolute dream. But for the time being, we run once a month. I'd love to be able to run it more, but but at the moment that's all we can do. So, and we do private ones as well. But because I like to be able to offer they're free of charge. I don't charge, for people to come, because I want people to be able to talk and it to not have that pressure either. So it's literally just drop in for a nice cup of tea and a cake, and So long term, I would love to have my own standalone, just like mental health little hub thing, for loads of people to just drop into. So that's a long term dream.
It's a good dream to have, though, and I think it would be, honestly, it'd be a great thing to have set up for people. You see what we have going on this side of the Atlantic with all the stresses people have going on over here, and there's a lot of fear right now, and it's being able to have a little place like that a person can just pop into and chill out. Talk about what's
there's so much fear everywhere, and so it is to have the space, and there's just, the world is full of such horribleness at the moment that people just awful
camaraderie.
Exactly, everyone's coming together and helping.
You're not going to get that from just your regular average therapist.
And everyone's different thoughts as well to things, sometimes we get some quite controversial remarks and things, but that's that person's view, and that's great, that everyone's able to express what they think, and everyone listens, even if a view is controversial, it's still taken on and it's not judged, everyone can say what they want and know that no one's going to say, no, you're wrong, because that's how that person feels and what that person thinks, and that's, we're all our unique selves, which is what brings everyone to where they are, and that's also what gives people the help, total different takes and views and what people's coping mechanisms are. So
yeah, that's one thing that's really important with what's going on right now, like on the Twitter community and stuff, is you know, back with their Keep Talking MH hashtag, you know, we're promoting being able to talk about what's going on, what you're going through, and bringing different points of view into the conversation.
Yeah.
You know, it's important. It just is, you know.
Yeah.
So, what would you know? We're still all trying to fight this dreaded stigma that we're having to deal with because of mental health concerns, mental illness, what have you. What do you think that we could be doing that we're maybe missing out on at this point?
I think it's just. I think it all comes down to talking more and actually being truthful, and just the more conversations people can have, the more that happens, the more bit by bit the stigma can reduce. And it is slowly, but it's sort of, it's talking. Like I'm big behind just being able to talk about it, being truthful how you feel. I think a lot of people, when they ask me now, how are you, it's like they know from me I will get the truthful, absolute how I really am feeling, because I can't do that. Oh yeah, I'm fine, because that's what got me to where I got. So so I think being honest, like with those close to you as well, being able to feel you can say you're not okay and to reach out for help, because we all need help. You know, we all go through times. So it's making people feel able to. And
to open up. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
I think it's a good answer.
Basically, talk. You know, yeah.
So, with your cafe that you know currently you're doing it once a month, you know, just mainly because it looks really good and I'm really hungry right now. Where do all the cakes come from?
Well, we get some donated, and we've also got this wonderful baker. She's Crumbs Up London, and she started baking for her mental health. So she's our resident baker. So yeah, and then I bake some, and so it's a real mix. But people do also love to bring in their bakes. We should find that at one of the private ones we run. It's in a community, and people love to come in and show off what they've made. You know, they come in with their plate of cake or whatever, and they come in with this proud, you know, like, look what I've made. You know, so cause people love it, you know. So it's a mixture of places where they come from, but they're always very tasty. And obviously I have to try them all because I'm running it. So
yeah,
of course.
Starting this last holiday season, I started watching baking shows on TV.
Yeah, she did.
And that's never been a thing that I really enjoyed, but all of a sudden at Halloween, they had some funny, you know, big creature kind of contests and stuff, and I thought that was really entertaining. And then I went through to the Christmas ones, and, you know, I got to where I had my favorite bakers, and I was rooting for them and yelling at the TV, and
then of course there's the great baking. Was it the Great British Baking?
Great British Baking.
We've got the Great British Bake Off.
Yeah.
And, so I was with a friend yesterday who got very excited. She's like, "Oh, it's nearly Bake Off time," you know. Yeah. Last year she was like, "I'm going to enter it," but yeah. She didn't.
No, the funny part of these shows is that I get so into them, and then I'm like, oh, I wonder if that person's on Twitter. That's like my kind of thinking. So I connected with my favorite baker on Twitter after watching her win. I think she won. Didn't Maeve win? I'm pretty sure she won the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I contacted her, and she was just really down to earth and cool, and it was fun. So I'm kind of a dork that way. Like I really get emotional about famous people.
Yeah. Well, one of the Bake-Off, the people that won the Bake-Off, I can't remember when it was, a couple of years ago. She actually just did a big documentary over here because she suffers with severe anxiety as well. So it, she had a documentary on how like CBT has helped her, and as in the therapy sort, not the cafe, unfortunately. But so she was baking for her anxiety as well, and she's amazing. Yeah.
Are you having any difficulties with people asking you about the CBT?
What do you mean?
Confusion?
Because of cognitive behavioral therapy.
Yeah, I think I stress it more as cake before therapy, or I say CBT cafe, cake before therapy. Okay. So I haven't had any confusion yet.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
that's
no,
good.
yeah.
That was one of the first things I thought of. I was like, God, I hope she doesn't have any trouble with that.
No, because we call it more cake before therapy and then CBT cafe, But then once people clock onto it, they love it.
Better that than tea and cake with death.
Tea and cake with death.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be trying to do English accents when we've got an English guest.
Yes, I know.
All right.
That's terrible.
I'm really fighting the urge. You have no idea. I'm going to drive her nuts later.
That's quite good.
That's my plan. I'm going to talk about this the whole rest of the day for her and just drive her nuts.
Yeah.
And then she'll slap me.
He thinks he's Austin Powers.
No, but I was watching Austin Powers earlier today. So there's that.
Oh gosh, I've not seen that in a long time.
Yeah, it's on Amazon Prime right now. So yeah.
Once I fall down the Prime hole, I'm just binge watching everything. So.
It's easy to do.
Yeah.
Flipping
and then
through all the
days.
Flipping through Bill and Ted's. Oh, that's great. Yeah.
All right, so why don't you tell us what is coming up next for you, as opposed to listening to Joe's interesting viewing habits?
What's next? Well, I'm just really trying to push and grow the cafe, but I'm also juggling my studies as well. So I'm about to finish my counselling course in December, so it's sort of juggling everything, and then I'll be a counsellor as well. So it's really pushing the cafe at the moment, because I want to be able to do many more of them. So that's.
Will you be an LCSW, or is there another term for it?
Or what's that?
When you become a counselor? Do you have like a term after your name? I
don't know. I don't think I will have some sort of letters. Don't know what it would be, actually. That's a good question.
Here it's most often LCSW, licensed clinical social worker. Usually, we get a lot of those.
No, I don't have that one. I don't know. Yeah, not sure.
I'm just curious.
Yeah.
No pressure. I was just curious.
The last question I got for you is, how do you get the word out on your cafe when you do it every month? Is there like a sign up sheet, or
Facebook group? I've got the Facebook group, and I post it on Instagram and Twitter, so it's just through social media, and then I flyer a lot around London as well, and I'm trying to get into contact with a lot of the GP surgeries, so the local doctor surgeries and things, because of the whole NHS and the no funding for mental health as well, that this is a free service that I can offer people. So I'm trying to speak a lot to the different local doctors as well.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah. But social media, Instagram and Facebook and
what
Twitter.
What are your social media links if we have anyone that wants to get a hold of you?
It's CBT_cafe.
And that's on Twitter, Instagram,
on Twitter and
Facebook?
Instagram. And Facebook,
Okay.
yeah. All of them.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Very excellent. Well, we're down to the wire.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, guys, for having me. It's been great to talk as well.
It's our pleasure.
Yeah, it was great having you.
Yeah, stay on the line, and
Yeah.
we're going to get our last song going, but we want to be able to say goodbye to you off the air. So,
Fantastic.
everybody out there, you're going to be listening to Brandon Carmody. I think I'm saying that right. Apologies if I'm not. And the song is called Voices. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Keep talking metal.
That laughter I hear, why are you laughing at me? Are those friendly voices I hear, why are they mocking me? Lonely boy in the cold, and all the other boys have gone home, and I've always known that I'd be alone. Laughter in my ears, it all begins to grow. You can have my million pieces of nothing buried in this hole. Take me where I know it'll be found to me. Yeah. Old times running like the wind, I know used to be, and you know.